Like if you're looking to buy a deal, that it's very important that you understand. I mean, insurance used to be 3 days before the deal closed, and we're like, cool, who are we going to use? State Farm, Farmers, whatever. Now that's like one of our top priorities.
Yeah. Is this insurable?
Yeah.
Is this building insurable?
Yeah. And we're leaving that as a contingency.
Yeah.
Because an insurance can kill a deal.
100%.
Welcome to Ladders and Levers, a podcast where we break down real estate investing with a clear focus on strategy, execution, and building long-term wealth. Whether you are scaling for yourself or closing your first deal, we are here to cut through all the noise and bring you actionable insights from real operators in the field. I'm Danny Lampert, along here with my co-host and business partner, more importantly, my wife, Marissa Buss. And today I am beyond excited to have our guest, Taylor, who's the founder of the group CRE. And Taylor has closed over $350 million in multifamily deals and knows the LA market inside and out. He is also the host of the No Vacancy podcast, which has had a strong early momentum and some great guests. I truly enjoy watching every episode. So if you haven't seen it, tune in. And today we will talk about what he's seeing out there in the LA multifamily market and how owners should be thinking about strategy and what he's learned through both closing deals and hosting conversations with top realtors and operators. Taylor, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, we are beyond excited to have you. And you know, the way that Taylor and I met was through a mutual friend, and she is a Olympic athlete, right? Swimmer.
Savage.
Yep.
Yeah, and she, I mean, high energy, high producer, and she said, you got to meet my friend Taylor. So Taylor and I ended up connecting. We met at a coffee shop locally here in Calabasas, and that's what really, I mean, it's all about is relationships, right?
100%.
I mean, we haven't done a deal yet, but I guarantee like we will put a deal together in the future. And whether I'm bringing you somebody or you're bringing us a deal, like that's just how it happens. It's all about like that relationship. And now, I mean, I consider him one of my friends. So
I know it's pretty crazy how that happens. This business, and we'll probably talk about it later, like relationships, it is the name of the game. This is how you succeed in real estate is incredible relationships with the right people. And it's something that, I mean, my whole job is relationships.
Yeah, no, 100%. Same here, right?
Yeah,
100%.
And so let's just get started. So you've talked about owners, you know, guessing on value and or feeling like it's just another deal. So what were you seeing out there that pushed you to start the group CRE?
Yeah, it was, so I started in 2018. So I worked at a firm that was pretty full service. So they provided the agents with a database, marketing materials, like everything you could imagine that you needed, they helped provide. And with that comes, you know, more of your commission being kept by the house. And so when I got to a certain point, when they got big enough and when things started becoming a little bit more, not corporate is the wrong word to say, but like I had to checklists and balances and stuff like that. And the way that I've always been is I'm like allergic to being like everyone else. I really want to do things uniquely and differently. And I was seeing how certain industries, because I love studying history and I love seeing what other people are doing to use in my own business, I was seeing that they were using different technology and different tools. And, you know, I could only send a few emails a week and to these owners. And I'm like, there's got to be a different way, a better way.
Yeah.
I was frustrated because most of my business was coming from cold calls. Like I was ripping the phones and volume. I do love calling. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still something I enjoy today.
No,
I do.
Let's be honest. Cold calling is a necessary evil. Okay, getting cursed out on the phone and all of it and dealing it. Okay, I will say calling for commercial is better than calling for residential.
I'm sure.
Because calling for commercial,
100%.
you're just trying to get past gatekeepers.
Yeah.
But residential, you're getting full on.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But I cold called for like 9 years.
I mean,
so
it's expected
it's a
in
little burnout.
commercial, where in
You
residential, you're like, wait, you're a realtor calling me? Like,
Yeah.
no, you're not supposed to be calling me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you weren't referred by my pool guy. Like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, that's why I loved calling absentee owners in residential, because it's like people who own investment properties. So then they have a little bit more like, oh, you might actually be useful.
There's value there. Totally.
But I just had to call you on that because I was like, do not sit here and tell me that you love cold calling.
But what was special about it was because there was no barriers to entry. Like if you had a phone number and you could be a brand new agent in the business and you had an opportunity to make money. And that's what I loved about that, because it was all on me. It was like, what are my skills? How am I speaking on the phone? How's my tonality? Am I asking the right questions? Am I adding value? It was something that I could control. And that felt like an opportunity that I wanted to go after.
Yeah. And then you just pick up a drinking habit later for all the rejection that you had to go through on the phones that day. Yeah. For sure.
That's so cool. I absolutely love the grind part. Like in the beginning, I mean, you're getting beat up
100%
constantly. Like she said, it's so much negative, and whether you have, for us, we always had accountability groups. I don't know if you have that, where it's like, okay, made my 20 calls today, or hey, set an appointment. And it's like it's the chase, right? Like,
well, you just knew your metrics too. It's like I knew 100 calls, or 100 had to talk to 100 people, I would get an appointment. I knew 200 no's, I was going to get a paycheck. So it was just like, okay. And then you were trying to like have better quality in your calls, because you didn't want to get, we would call it contact-itis, where we were just like blowing through contacts,
to get the context.
But you're not really pushing for, like, I don't know if you ever played the 7 quarters game when you cold call and you would like pull them down as you asked 7 questions was your goal.
No, I didn't
to be
even
able
know
to
that.
get through. Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, I did some like hardcore cold calling. I was a
love
Mike
that.
Ferry agent for a long time.
Wow.
Well, because I came from commercial.
Oh.
And so when I moved into residential, I only knew cold calling. Then I got a Mojo 3 dialer, and I'm like, what in the world? Why didn't I have this in commercial? I was hand dialing from the apartment book, and I was like, oh my gosh, what line was I on?
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was. You were like a baby.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
So what weren't owners getting at the time that you felt was missing?
For me, it's marketing. Like the way that I view the group and the way that I want to run my business is just being known as the best marketing real estate agents that you can hire. Because at the end of the day, my job is to expose the properties to as many people as possible, as long as that's what the client wants. I've recently been reminded of that. I'm like, oh yeah, some clients don't, which for them, their goal was not to get the highest price. But if you want to get the highest price, then as many people as possible who could compete to get the deal. Like logically, that's kind of how auctions work. And so I wanted to create a system, a process for being able to market properties better than anyone else. And so that's been a lot of the drive for me in terms of like the tools that we implement and, all the technology and AI and stuff that we're really focusing on, because I just want to be better than anyone else.
That's great.
So in commercial, I'm curious, because, in residential, you have so many easy ways to market.
Yeah.
But like, there's no open houses.
No.
Like you send out postcards, you send out emails, like you do ads, social media, you could do YouTube ads.
Yeah.
What else do you do in commercial? I haven't been commercial and tried. I've only been buying commercial, right?
Yeah.
I haven't worked in commercial since I left in 2009.
Got it.
Yeah.
So things have changed for sure.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Just technology. Like when I first started in residential, you had Facebook and you could post a picture. You think about it. Like, so that's why I cold called. Like you couldn't do all the crazy stuff we can do now.
There's so many different like avenues to be able to market nowadays, like you said. But I still think the tried and true stuff of the cold calling and the mailers and setting in-person meetings and doing the networking and all that stuff is still the bread and butter of it. You can get creative and unique in terms of having different email domains. So if you're sending out a bunch of emails, they don't get burned.
That's
and,
a good idea.
There's some personalization that comes with a lot of the new technologies nowadays. So it feels like it's a little bit more personal, where in reality, maybe it's sent to 2,000 people, but there's some specific piece that, I don't know if people would really care if they knew that. But at the end of the day, like if it's a deal that you want to buy, you want to know about it.
Yes,
right? Like
100%.
my job, and nowadays with all the information that's coming to you,
Yes.
like it's very hard to sift through all this stuff.
Yeah.
So my job is really cutting through the noise to make sure, hey, is this a deal that you're interested in? If so, like let's discuss and talk about this.
Yeah.
Well, I would say too, because like I feel like that when we're prospecting when we're fundraising, right, for syndications, like I'm trying to get your attention, and I know it's 36 touches for me to really get someone's attention, right, and be top of mind, but I don't have that much time. So that's where like, yeah, if a broker has a deal for us and wants us to underwrite it, I'm like, you need to text me.
Yeah.
Because if I don't get a text, and with how many emails we all get every day, I'm going to miss it. You know, so we started doing, because we do like a 30-minute or like hour video of the whole deal, right? The webinar, yeah. And we record it and we realized that's too long to even send to people. Like they don't even have that much time. So then one of our GPs was like, this other syndicator sends us like a 6-minute, like why I love this deal. And so then I made one of those and would text it and just be like, and Danny always makes like a highlights of like, here's the deal. And I find that that is literally the best way to get people's attention.
Yeah.
And like, especially with brokers, they're like, hey, just sent you a deal, and send me, like, text me the PDF of the marketing package. Is like, oh, okay. And then I look at it right
highlights.
then.
Yeah. It's adjusting to what people want to, I think.
Right.
Like there's some people who want a text message. There's some people who want you to pick up the phone and call them.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's some people who only want emails because they live and die on their email and it's like their to-do list.
Yeah.
So I think it's meeting people where they're at and understanding, which is part of the everything that's going on in a broker's brain is like you have to manage and understand all of the nuances to every person you're working with, which I think makes it difficult, but which is also a differentiator from people who maybe are good at brokerage but aren't the best at brokerage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I looked at it like a big game of memory. Because you're cold calling all day, right? And you get these guys and they're like, yeah, I'll look for this. I need this cap rate, blah, blah, blah. I want this size building. And then you get someone who's like, yeah, I would sell this and this and this. And then you're like, wait, where's that guy?
Yep.
Who said they wanted what? And then you're just trying to like turn over the cards and then like contact those people.
Yes.
Yeah. We literally use like a Rolodex.
Like one of those paper
things. Oh,
yeah.
And like had our like cards.
6 caps, 6.5 caps, 6.5 caps.
I was like, there's got to be a better way than this. I'm like, this is how we're doing this?
Yeah. So, I mean, we touched on it a little bit, but early on, before, you know, your brand and reputation were out there, you know, what did the day-to-day actually look like for you when you were, you know, getting out there and grinding?
Ripping dials, man.
Yeah.
Ripping dials. I remember there was like maybe the first week in the business, our CEO sat us down and was like, this is what the schedule of $1 million agent looks like. And when I heard that, because they gave us an agenda for like the training. I did 2 months of training before I was officially like an agent. And I remember I have to go to that meeting. That's very important that I'm there. Not that I would miss any, but I mean, I was ready to take notes because $1 million agent, okay, that's why I got in the business. I wanted to make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And so when he gave that talk, it was like, get in the office at 6, make 100 cold calls a day. So you're at 500 for the week. Do 2 proposals and 2 in-person meetings, and like you'll be a $1 million agent. Effectively, that was it.
Yeah.
But he broke it down into your daily schedule, and so I really took that to like, this is my Bible. I will do this and follow this, and if he says this, which he's a lot wealthier than me and has been a $1 million agent, then I will do that. Yeah. And so it's very much just that.
Okay. But that's easy to do when you're in the beginning of your career.
Correct.
What happens when you're busy? How hard is it to make those 100 calls when you are like, have a few escrows going?
No, 100%. And there was a future training that was brokerage 2.0. That was brokerage 1.0 and 2.0. And so realistically, truly for me, like I've been able to make a bunch of high volume of calls throughout my career because I time block. It's a very big part of my, idea. I schedule my calls in my calendar and that's a meeting with myself. Like I wouldn't miss a meeting with a client, right? So I've been very diligent with that. But I will tell you, with the recent activity we've had in the last maybe 10 months, like it is almost impossible because the value that I'm giving to my clients, like I have to work the deals at a certain point to sell them because the market is not easy. Which involves some calling, but it's also, you got to do follow-ups with the buyers. You got to be a little bit more particular with who you're reaching out to. It's difficult. I will tell you that.
Yeah, that's what I always felt like. Like it's so easy when you go in there and you don't have anything going on, but the minute you get busy and like, you have so many
Yeah.
escrows going. And that's where I feel like the roller coaster would come,
Yeah.
with the income, because it's like you weren't able to fulfill those contacts, and then it gets slow. And then you're like, oh, I got to ramp up again.
That is,
Yep.
they call that, the roller coaster of the commission thing. So
Yep.
that's why the calls are important to like block in, because you have to have that prospecting.
Yep.
Nowadays, the deals that I'm getting are very much referral based, and with the media and stuff, it's been, I never thought that I would get the business that I am from referrals. I'm like, referrals don't exist. That's not a real thing. Like, because all my deals, my first 35 deals started from a cold call.
Yeah.
The first 35 deals that I closed.
For sure.
So I'm like, okay, commercial, referrals don't exist. All these residential people talking about,
Yeah.
your sphere of influence and all this stuff. I'm like, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
But now I've realized like most of the last 20 deals have been referral
because you're
business.
in for 7 years.
Yeah.
That's what they say. They say the 5 to 7 year mark, it should be your business is mostly by referral at that point.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, when I started residential, because I started in 2010, which was horrible.
Yeah, wow.
It was so bad. And you were doing short sales for everyone and, showing foreclosures. And so I feel like it took longer than that because the way that the market was going, and then you had so many people that bought and got in at such low prices that they were like, well, I don't want to sell now. Like my house is worth double,
100%.
and then they refied at 2%. So they're like, why would I ever move?
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, for sure. So what were you doing? Like, how did you actually get in front of sellers? I know now, like that's what we all strive for. I remember Marissa, because Marissa was in longer than me, and hers were all referral based, and I was still grinding, door knocking, this and that. And that's when the business, I wouldn't say gets easier, right? I mean, now you have referrals, you already have like a foot in the door, right? But you got to be able to get in front of them. So what were you doing to actually get in front of these sellers?
Yeah, it was calls that led to an introductory meeting.
Okay.
And then that introductory meeting was to then do a broker opinion of value or a valuation, a BOV of their property, telling them what their property's worth.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I would leverage whatever I had, whether that was a building that is sold near their property, whether that was a listing of another agent that I had when I didn't have listings. And then once I got listings, it was, hey, I'm selling this. Okay, what are your plans for your building? So it was whatever, any value that I could have, whether it's rent data or some sort of specific value to them, to get an in-person meeting, because I always felt, for me personally, I do so much better in person than over the phone or email or anything like that. I'm a pretty direct person, but I think I have a good job of connecting with people and understanding them.
I feel that.
And listening.
So question for you. So when you're new in the business, I feel like we don't manage sellers' expectations as well, because we're so excited for this listing opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've been in the business a while. You have a pretty tough market with how are you managing sellers' expectations for the prices they want for these buildings? Because I feel like when we get some sent over to us, I'm like, you're selling this on a 3 cap.
Yeah.
Literally, we have had to buy them, but we add ADUs and we do this whole eviction process and remodel. But your average, we're in like middle market, right? Or not even middle market. We're like, 50 units and below.
Yeah.
People who are buying a 200 unit building or 100 unit building are not looking to add ADUs and to remodel a bunch of units. So how do you get them to realize, like, no, you are not going to get a 3 cap, sir?
Yeah.
That's not reality.
On the front end, it's managing expectations when we're doing those initial meetings and conversations. And I'm all for, like, look, if you need a price to hit and you want to go out there and test the market, fine. I understand. My job is, if you've talked to any fantastic good brokers and you ask them, have you ever sold a building for more than you thought it was worth? Every one of them would raise their hand.
Yeah.
Like every one,
of course.
because it happens, right?
Yeah.
Which also sets expectations very difficult when a seller says, I want that price. And you're like, well, okay, that doesn't happen every day. It could happen.
Yeah.
But the conversation that I like to have with owners is, okay, fine. But how many people do I need to talk to? And how many investors need to tell me that the price is this for us to then reduce the price?
I like that.
Right? And then the other part of it is, okay, and also we're taking the risk of, if we come out too high, then the property is going to get stale.
Exactly.
Right. And then you reduce the price, and
Exactly.
then people smell blood in the water, and you reduce it again. And you end up effectively getting a lower price because time on market, you want to capture the momentum. I always say, like, if I can sell a deal in under 60 days, that's probably the best price that person got, because momentum is such a powerful thing when it comes to investing, because people want to get a deal early. Like, they're feeling like they're getting stuff before it's exposed fully to the market. But if I do my job right, people have already seen it and it's already exposed. You don't need 2 weeks to go and make sure everyone who's investing and looking at this deal sees it. Like, realistically, 5 to 7 days, everyone who's potentially going to buy this deal has seen this property, unless it's a 1031 exchange buyer.
Right.
Which, again, if your strategy is that a 1031 buyer is going to pay more than what it's worth, it's not a strategy, right? You're hoping for that.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe that your timelines are that tight. Because like in residential, we always say if you're not sold in 2 weeks, you're overpriced. I mean, but I'm surprised that in multifamily that it's that short as well. Like, if it's priced correctly, it's going to be an escrow. Like,
I
you're
think
gonna have,
so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just interesting because it's like such a, higher
Yeah, I mean,
value of
trust me, I've
properties,
had
but-
properties on the market for many years. So
Yeah.
I've definitely had that conversation and haven't been able to manage expectations. But I would say I've been able to get a lot better at it too when I'm not like starving for food, right? Like, I'm like, hey, if you want to sell for that price, great, but I'm not the broker for you. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that so nice
It's
to get
so
to that
nice.
point?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't it?
It's so refreshing where I'm like, hey, no thanks.
Yeah.
I know. I remember those days early on. You're taking whatever you can get, and you're like, oh yeah, I got this great listing, and you realize, wow, I just wasted 3 months of my time.
Yep.
Oh yeah, my first listing in residential. I cold called like in-home care centers.
Wow.
Because I came from commercial, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, well, how can I get these phone numbers? And I didn't realize that you could buy residential lists in. So I literally went through and like looked up every single one, created my list, and then I started calling in-home care centers, and I got this first one and I was so excited. And this is 2010, and I listed for $750. All the comps in the neighborhood are like 500. People are like, what is this lady doing? But I'm like, oh, but we're selling the business and this and that. And then didn't even realize like it wasn't
Didn't
even
sell, right?
like a nice one. And nope, didn't sell. And, oh yeah.
But that's where you learn too. That's where you get to understand, okay, here's what happened. Here's how I'm not going to have that happen in the future. Yeah. And then you get better and adjust. And I think that's why owners like to work with quote unquote experienced agents who've been in the business, because you've seen so many different things, which makes it very tough to be new in the business, because you're competing against all these brokers who've had experience. Yeah. And the only way that I've found for young people to be successful is you have to out hustle and outwork them. Yeah. It's like, hey, Mr. Seller, that person has, 45 listings right now. You think they're going to give the time that I'm going to give your listing? I'm going to shake every tree possible and make sure that every person who could buy this building is going to know about it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So there's pros and cons. And then me as the experience would be like, well, do you want to give something to someone who's never done a deal, or you want to give what do they say? It's like you give a busy person something to do because they're busy. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
If you want something done, give it to a busy person.
Give it to a busy person. Right.
Yep. That's why people ask me to do stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Had to learn to start saying no.
Yeah, I know.
No, I
I'm
can't run
that. Too.
No, I can't be on that board. No. Like, Yeah.
So before we get into, I want to talk about the LA market. I just have one last question. So looking back, what do you think mattered more early on? Was it volume or quality conversations?
Volume negates luck.
Volume negates luck.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. It's just 100% it's a volume game in the beginning. Yeah. Like, what else do you have to do besides just do more? Yeah. Like skills aren't there yet. Yeah. Right. So, and the only way you get better is by the reps. And so I think volume in the beginning should be your main focus. It's just get as many at-bats, as many reps, as many times, time on ball, as they say, like just do volume. Yeah.
It's funny because when I asked that question, I thought you were going to say the opposite. But now that you answered it, that's so true, so valuable, so many lessons learned just through the conversations, this and that. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure.
So let's jump into the LA market. What does LA multifamily market look like now? And I got to say, guys, I get, I don't know, probably 2 emails, maybe 3 from this guy of new listings. I mean, this guy's a listing machine. So whatever he's doing is working. And that's how he was saying success leaves clues. He met people and went to mentors, and that's how it works, right? You follow the lead of people who have done this before you. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. I mean, yes, you are going to add your own flavor and that, but success definitely leaves clues.
Yeah, there's a path.
Yeah. So what's going on in that LA multifamily market?
I'm curious. How are people making money in LA?
That's the question, right? Is like, are they making money?
Yeah, that's the other question.
It's too soon probably to know, to be honest with you. But what the people who are buying these deals, it's transitioned since interest rates have come up. Like the buyers who were right when interest rates started climbing up were a lot of 1031 exchange buyers because they were in that time period. They had to close something. So we had a little bit of a period of those being the primary buyers. Then a lot of the family offices stepped in because bases started coming down a little bit, or there was the sellers who were actually meeting the market because everyone was up here. And there was like a few people who were actually at the time where they felt like it was a fair price. They would scoop those up. Now, and then there was a period where it was first time buyers really came through. ULA was a massive negative on the LA market.
What's that?
Yeah,
that's the mansion tax. So in Los Angeles, if you sell a property above $5.3 million or $10.3 or $10.6 million, you have to pay an extra transfer tax. And that jumps up from 45 basis points, which is 0.45%, to 4% transfer tax, and then 5% transfer tax.
That's still going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they just, remember,
That's
I
so
just
funny
read
you guys don't know that.
No, I knew about that. I knew about the transfer tax.
Because you don't do LA.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to stay out of it.
No,
It scares me.
rightfully so. I get it.
But I just read you that article because they just upped it, I thought, again, because they are trying to, some of that money's going to the fire department. Because they need to hire, they were going to hire like 1,000 more firefighters or something. It was saying, remember?
And it was like that has to do with
had to do with this transfer tax.
Wow,
that's how they're planning on funding it.
I mean, it's been a quote unquote. They'd say it's a success, but from what they anticipated, it's been a massive failure.
Really,
okay.
Massive failure.
So the 5.3 is that residential, and then the 10.6 for commercial. So wait a second. So any property, they didn't differentiate between residential and commercial properties?
If you built a property for $10 million, ground up, and now it's worth $6 million, you lost $4 million.
Yeah.
You have to pay 4% transfer tax.
Wow.
So it's not on anything logical. It's just on a number. And the craziest part too is, which I'm like, this is so dumb. It's on the dollar amount. So if it's $5,299,000, no transfer tax. If it's $5.3 million, transfer tax. So it's like, okay, then you're just opening up gray area shit.
Yeah.
Where people are gonna do transfers here, negotiate here, sell LLCs here. Like, it's just it's a terribly written bill. And I think the unintended consequences of it, they don't fully understand, or they do.
No, because they don't consult real estate professionals when they make policy. And you don't have a lot of, policy makers that are in real estate. Like, it's a really big deal that all of these boards and these people who get elected, like every city council, I feel like should have a real estate professional on it, because the mistakes that are made are huge. And they think that consulting with lawyers is the end all be all. And it's like, no, you guys actually don't understand things like at all.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with rent control.
Totally.
Like, you're enforcing all these rent controls. You are not giving any ability for a landlord to recoup just costs, insurance, utilities going up, construction costs. So you're just going to have all these buildings that are just falling apart slowly, because why would they put any money to it when they're getting, what is the new one? It's like, it was something
it's 80% of CPI or 3%, the max.
Yeah, but then some of them were like even lower than that.
The county is even lower than that.
Yeah, I was like, how does that make sense? That's why sorry. Taylor,
no,
you're
I don't blame
have to start
you.
working out of LA.
I know, people keep telling me.
Yeah, Ventura, well, this is why Ventura County, like, if people go there from LA
up.
Because the traffic isn't that bad to get there. You go down to Orange County, which we looked at, but it's like you go down on the wrong time of the day and you're 2 hours in traffic trying to get to Long Beach,
totally.
or, even further.
But there's money to be made in every market.
Every market, there's money to be made. And that's the one thing that I talk to owners right now. So LA has this cloud over it. That's really the sentiment.
Yeah.
And there's still buyers. We're still
Yeah.
getting deals done,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's the unknown. Interest rates, of course, affect every market, but specifically with Los Angeles, it's the regulation risk that is you can't calculate what it's going to be doing to the actual value once you're done with your business plan. That's the hard part. People don't know what to underwrite these deals of what it's going to be worth once it's finished. And if you don't know what your investment's going to be worth after you put money into it and invest into it, like how do you underwrite that?
Yeah.
Like, it's really hard to do. So the assumptions are very difficult to figure out.
Yeah.
And that's been causing a big backup and slow of the transaction volume. Deals still get done.
Yeah.
There's still distress, right? There's people that have to sell. But if you don't have to sell, like why would you sell?
Right. No, if you're in a good place and you're cash flowing. Isn't there also, though, in LA, I thought, because one of our friends is a developer, and he was telling me how he's doing these affordable. And so is that now kind of the catalyst? Because he was saying every fourth one he's going to hold on to, the other 3 he's going to sell. And so are they buying buildings and converting them, or they're buying buildings, tearing them down, and then building these affordable units that have like very little red tape to build? And then they're filling them with Section 8, but they don't have to fill them all with something like that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ways to do that. So there's both. People are doing both, where they're taking existing stuff and then making it affordable, coveting it affordable, and then getting tax incentives for doing that.
Yeah.
And you have to do that by partnering with a nonprofit effectively to do that. Then there's ED1, which now there's a statewide bill that kind of gives you the 100% density bonus. But effectively, if you designate the building as affordable, right, which is the city classifies it as 80% of AMI, which is the median income. If the residents make below 80%, then you can rent to them, which Section 8 renters qualify as well. So a lot of these people were building when this happened, they wanted to add housing, so they made it a little bit less restrictive for these developers to build these things. And you got a lot more density. Like you could build 40 units on a 7,500 square foot lot.
Okay,
which is just
because that's where I was trying to figure out. I'm like, what is the point? But then that's why, because you're getting this 100% density.
way more density.
Oh,
correct.
I see. That makes sense.
Yeah, so they allowed you to build more. And so the tough part about ED1 is there's a lot of things have changed. Section 8 is a big question mark right now. I've historically done a lot of South Los Angeles housing, which a primary of the renters are Section 8 in South LA.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of issues. Like some if you're getting HACLA vouchers, which is like the main one, they'll pay on time, but there's other TLS, which is like time limited subsidies. Some of those don't pay on time, and some of them are reducing their rates, and like the nonprofits that are doing those are losing funding and they're not making money. So it's been very hectic on the affordable side. So I'm excited and curious to see what happens to a lot of the ED1 developers, because there hasn't been that many sales of completed 100% affordable projects. Like there really isn't a lot of data to go on.
Yeah.
Like what's someone going to pay for these, especially when they cost $300,000 to build and they were building to like a 6.5 cap, where I'm selling existing stuff at 8 caps in South LA. It's like, do you want to pay $250 a door? Do you want to pay $225? Like your basis is ruined. It's a very tough situation.
Well, and especially if you're worried about the funding of the tenants, like in the programs.
Are you going to get paid?
Yeah.
Yeah, because then how are you going to get them out in LA?
Well, you're not.
You're not.
Yeah.
So then you're sitting there with just a bunch of tenants and it's not really the tenants' fault, because they thought they qualified for a program and then the funding is gone or was not handled properly.
100%.
Wow, that's crazy. See, honey, that's why we're not buying in LA, and we're going to not be a developer of affordable units.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Holy moly.
Yeah, there's better ways to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll stick with our ADUs additions. That seems to be working.
How are regulations, because we're kind of on this topic, regulations and rent control impacting like real decision making for today?
It's everything in LA. It's everything. Like that is the filter that you're questioning every investment decision that you make is, okay, how is this going to be affected by rent control? Can I make money on this deal? is it going to get worse?
Mm-hmm.
Like those are, because at the end of the day, why do people invest in real estate? Sure, taxes, but it's to make a return, right?
Yeah.
And you're calculating what your alternatives are to invest in. Do you want to invest in private equity? Do you want to invest in the stock market? Do you want to invest in bonds? Like there's different vehicles that you can invest your money in. Real estate is just one of them.
Right.
And so if the risk reward isn't there, why would you invest in real estate?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's been very difficult with rent control and regulations. This is incredible. It's increased the amount of risk associated with these buildings significantly more than what it was prior. And so that's made it very difficult for this transactions, velocity to pick up, and we're like stalled, like the gears are jammed in LA.
Yeah.
Okay, what about, because we were just driving to, where did we just go? Somewhere.
We went to
we went to Santa
Anaheim. Yeah.
Oh, no, we went to Santa Anita
The racetrack.
for our daughter's horse show awards thing. And I was noticing, because I didn't have to drive, so I'm like looking at everything, and there's a lot. It seemed like there was quite a few like more luxury high-end apartment buildings in construction, but like didn't look like. So I'm curious, how are those performing?
I don't know anyone who started a project to build in the last 2 years, like in the city. Like development deals do not pencil right now, especially for market rate deals. Like it's the cost of construction plus interest rates.
Yeah.
When interest rates were high, it was higher than they are now.
Yeah.
It literally didn't pencil because the only way that they could buy the land and not even get it for free, right, and still make it pencil at a 7 or 7.5% yield on cost, like it just it wasn't working. The math wasn't mathing. And so I think either they have some sort of subsidies or some sort of affordable nature to the buildings, or like they have different financing terms, or like there's unique situations where you can make it work, or the rents are high enough. Like you have to have a certain amount of rent to be able to get that yield on cost that you're trying to achieve. But for most deals in LA, like it does not pencil to give the land away for free. Like you wouldn't build on free land.
I have a client right now that I'm helping him on a residential deal for a 1031 exchange, but he's a developer in LA. And we were talking about, because I have a condo listed out there, and I was like, wow, I didn't realize how soft that market is.
Oh, super soft.
And my clients were like, well, maybe we'll rent it. And then I look at rentals and I'm like, there's even more for rent. And he said, yeah, he has a brand new building on Pico and Fairfax, brand new apartment building. And he was saying, he's like, we're
5,500,
like crickets. Like,
is it like a 55 unit?
I don't know. Maybe you know him.
I probably.
Yeah. So, but he was telling me, he's like, it's just like
the rental market's super soft.
Yeah.
Super soft. Certain pockets are doing okay. But overall, I mean, rents are down. Yeah, they're down from what they were.
Yeah, that's what. And then the other Sunday Capital,
Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
We met with him on our last deal because he came out to like walk and do an inspection, and he was talking about how he has had negative rental appreciation.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that makes my brain hurt. I don't understand. Like I couldn't go to my investors and say, and we're negative for rental appreciation.
Our rents are going down. Right?
Yeah.
Because like real estate's just supposed to keep going up and to the right? It always appreciates. It's like, no, not always.
Yeah. No, and that's one thing too. Like it's not a quick get rich easy scheme at all. No. This is a long game.
Yep.
Real estate is a long game.
That's what the broker I worked for, Ryan Cassidy, always said to me. He said, Marissa, this is not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then he would say, this business is simple, not easy.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, and I'll be back on the phones in my life right now.
Yeah. No, it's true.
What noise do you think, I mean, because there is a lot of noise out there.
Yeah.
Like, what should owners be ignoring right now?
I think they should be ignoring interest rate discussions. I don't think that interest rates should dictate if you buy a building or not. The metrics in the deal, the interest rate is part of your equation, right? So if you're like, I'm going to wait till rates come down. It's like, no, then you're always going to be waiting till rates get a little bit lower. Or you're going to, they're going to go up. So I'm going to wait to sell. Like you're betting on something that you can't control. Like work with what you have. The interest rates don't matter at the end of the day if the deal pencils with those rates. Yeah. So I think ignoring that conversation, you can't control it. So like stop trying to make your investment decisions based upon something you can control.
That's great advice. I mean, we just met with a broker who's sold a couple deals for lunch, and we went to lunch, and they asked us, they're like, well, what is it that we can send you that's gonna make you guys pull the trigger? And the thing is
There's like permits on our ADUs.
There's nothing that you can really send to me. Like, I'm not going to buy a 6 cap just because, or a 7 or a 3. We have to underwrite it based on our model.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because we buy 3 caps.
Yeah.
Because the rents are down here and we're like, okay, we know we can do a renovation eviction and we can bump them up to here. And then we can add ADUs. And we've bought a couple 3 caps.
It's really hard for them too, because I'm like, I really have to be the one to underwrite it. Like, I can't have them underwrite it for me because the way I underwrite it is so different than the way you underwrite it to sell.
100%.
Yeah.
It's so much different, especially with our model.
Broker math is a real thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think we have to do it because it's part of the business, right?
Yeah.
But and we have to get headlines, right? But a cap rate is manipulatable.
Yep.
That's why I think a lot of investors love to look at price per unit, price per square foot, and GRM, because you can't manipulate those.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you really can't.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people use that filter.
Yeah.
But yes, my numbers are assumptions at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I love it when they use the old, the current insurance. I'm like, that's so cute.
Yeah.
That's really cute. I'm like, there's no way I'm getting that insurance price. Like, mine's going to be double or triple.
Yeah, there's enough times that I've been chewed out on the phone where I'm like, okay, fine, we're going to adjust the underwriting for our insurance, right?
Yes.
And then you hear what someone's actually paying for insurance, and you're like, can I make it lower? Is that like too crazy? Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
We've had buildings where it's $250 a square foot, which is just absurd. Like, that's a really high insurance rate, or $2,000 a unit. Like, and I look at that, I'm like, I need to figure out why this is the case, because that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so insane. I usually do like $1,500 if I am worried a unit.
Yeah.
Like, and then, but it usually ends up to be somewhere right now. I've noticed like $1,100 to $1,200.
I'm at about $1,000 to $1,200 a unit. That's how we underwrite most of these.
Yeah, that's
and the thing is too.
Glad you're being somewhat realistic.
Yeah, I like to think that I'm pretty realistic.
Yeah, and like, you know, as a buyer, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
yeah, because it saves time.
Yeah, because we look at deals and the thing is with insurance, I mean, you can say, oh yeah, well you can get this insurance, where you're like, yeah, that's only going to cover half the building if it burns down.
No,
so there's so many like metrics that go into the insurance thing. So that's why, like, if you're looking to buy a deal, that it's very important that you understand. I mean, insurance used to be 3 days before the deal closed, and we're like, cool, who are we going to use? State Farm, Farmers, whatever. Now that's like one of our top priorities.
Yeah. Is this insurable?
Yeah.
Is this building insurable?
Yeah. And we're leaving that as a contingency.
Yeah.
Because an insurance can kill a deal.
100%.
You know?
Oh, yeah. We got a deal where we have a $500,000 deductible for wildfire.
Wow.
$500,000.
Wow.
Like, because the building was original 1960s.
Yeah.
So we couldn't, like, nobody wanted to carry it because none of the work was done, right? So, like, all your electrical panels rolled. And it was right after the Altadena and Palisades fire.
Yeah. We bought, like,
and we
right
were just like,
right there.
I was like, no, it would never. Just because there's open space across the like way there, you know, there's all this residential, and then that happens, and you're like, oh, I guess
you should come look at my insurance bills for my 1920s buildings.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
You'd have a field day with what those rates are.
Wow.
I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
Even when they're all redone, like all of it, they don't care.
No.
Wow.
Don't care.
That's insane. I mean,
wow. We're not buying 1920s buildings. We're limiting our buying pool
here
with
the
Taylor.
pool keeps getting smaller.
You're getting it. That's what's important. I tell investors that too. I'm like, know what you're buying. Have your business plan. Be flexible enough where if a deal makes sense and you have the skill set to make it work, great. Like, don't cross out everything, but also have your criteria, because that's the way that you can make quick decisions.
Yeah.
Yes.
And anyone knows a good deal does not last very long.
Nope.
So you have to be able to make decisions very quickly.
No, that's great.
And I appreciate owners who I talk to where I'm like, I know they're going to get back to me. I know we're going to get a deal done. People got to think, if you're an investor, right? What do I want? I want someone who has a surety of close, who I know has the cash, or I know who can raise it. Like, I want to make sure that I get paid if we go under contract, because then I look bad if you don't get it done.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, like, what can you do as an investor to make my life easier?
Yeah.
That is how I would be thinking if someone wants to get in or continue to grow.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you make the broker, who is the access to the deals that you want, how can you make their life easier?
Yeah.
Well, and we had, like, I feel like with Harvard, right? Because that was like our first big deal. It was like 6.2 million. And, you know, we're syndicators. It's our second syndication. And we have this young broker on it. And he like, you know, gets us into escrow. And I was like, this poor kid like had no clue if we would be able to like, I mean, the other deal we did was 1.2 and we had the cash. We closed it and then had our investors refund us.
Got it.
Like, but this one, like,
that's a big jump.
We had to raise 3.2 million on that one for like everything.
Yeah.
And he was just like, you guys
I hope
can
you
do
guys
this?
get it done.
Like,
I know.
And now in Ventura, they're like, oh, okay, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Like now they know.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like you build your reputation, right? So we work with the top broker in Ventura County, and it was pretty cool for him to say, he said, well, you guys are actually my first call now.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we have the track record, and every deal that we've gone under contract, we've closed.
That's amazing.
Like, and
only one deal ever. It had a river rock foundation. It was from like the 1920s. And we were like,
we needed
and
credit
it was
for that.
a big Victorian house they had chopped up and made into multiple units. And I was like, this is a mess.
Yeah.
And so that was the only deal we were like, no, we're out.
But
we can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, your reputation is really your currency.
Totally.
You know, and building that reputation is going to bring you more deals, and they're going to call.
100%.
You know, I used to have to grind and talk to everyone.
Yeah, they're like, why are you calling me? Who are you? I mean, I do it to people, investors who call me, and they're like, hey, Marissa, on your next fixer, can you send it to me? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I already have like 5 people I'm going to send it to.
Yeah.
So who are you? And you're not even, you don't even live by me.
Yeah. What are we doing?
Yeah, no, I feel bad because I definitely play that too.
So I want to segue, and I'm really excited about this because I want to pick your brain because you're very good at both these next topics. And the first one we're going to talk about is AI.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Danny's favorite topic.
Luckily we're recording
he loves
this, so
AI.
I'll be taking notes after I listen to it. So how are you using AI in your business right now?
I mean, so many ways, man. And
that's kind of a broad.
But here's the thing: if you're not using AI, you will be left behind. It's like someone saying,
I hear this from Danny.
No, but here,
I'm
going to tell you an analogy or a metaphor. It's like if someone said, hey, there's this thing called the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's pretty cool. You can do a lot of things with it. And someone was like, nah, I don't need to use the internet. Like, what are you talking about? Pfft, dumb, right? No. You'd be like, that person's a jackass. Like, they're dumb. Like, why wouldn't you use the internet, right? AI is that, if not more impactful on the way that our everyday life's going to be.
Yeah.
And the people using it are the ones who are going to just have an advantage, because it is still right now, it is not that intuitive or easy to use to understand how to connect things, because that's where the power comes in, is taking data from different places and then connecting it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can use it to write emails, great, or captions or investor memos and stuff like this in a one domain field. But where it gets super exciting, where it gets super exciting and where it's headed, and it's like every day it gets even better and better, is where you can connect multiple sets of data in different domains and make them work together and have the system actually work across those planes. Like that is the systems that we're trying to implement and use. And I'm a co-founder of this thing called AI for CRE Collective, which effectively we started because we were messing around with AI and using it in our day-to-day workflows for commercial real estate. And we're like, dude, I think other people would find this interesting and useful. Like, let's have a place where we can share everything that we're doing and they can learn and use it and try to help us iterate on some of our techniques and what we're doing too. So that's been really cool to be a part of. I think we're at like 550 commercial real estate people in that community right now. And we're just constantly.
So what platforms are you using of AI?
So my favorite platform at the moment is Claude AI. And I initially liked it because it was better at writing than ChatGPT. But they've just come from nowhere. Like they are the most advanced. Claude Code is probably the closest thing to AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, that has ever existed. It is incredible what you can do with that tool. I mean, anything that you can do on your computer with your fingers and a clicker, like it can do, but with AI and faster and better. Like it is incredibly special. And I would highly suggest anyone just go look up YouTube videos, Claude Code, or look up, Anthropic, Claude, go mess around with it, because some of the things that you can do with it are absolutely mind-blowing.
Okay, example. What are you doing with it?
So for you guys, right, you're underwriting a deal.
Yes, and this is where I've heard people are using it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how?
Yeah, you effectively can have it underwrite with your assumptions in a flash just by having a broker send you an OM, and it'll extract all that information and upload it into your model, whatever it is, and spit out an answer of if this deal makes sense.
So I could like literally connect it with my multi-tab Excel spreadsheet, and it would know to put all the rent roll in the rent mix. Then you go to the rent mix, unit mix page, make sure the averages are there, and then filter in all the expenses on my underwriting page, and then my T12 through. So
I would say yes, but you wouldn't be able to do it. You would have to have someone who understands code and because you're going to have to use different tools with Claude to be able to do that.
Yeah.
There are different tools that are Excel agents, like just Excel, Microsoft Excel, that are ridiculous when it comes to that because they only specialize in that.
Yeah.
I think that would be able to do 95% of what you're doing on underwriting.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be great if I could just do the rent roll, to be honest.
Oh, no. That's
Can you just put this rent roll in here for me?
That's no brainer. 100%
I'd be like,
can do
thank
that today.
you. I don't have to do that.
That's what I'm
Save me so
telling
much
her. Because like you said, like people that are not using AR are going to get left behind.
Yeah.
But luckily, I'm using it, so we're on the same team.
Hey.
We're good.
On Appfolio and their property management,
Yeah.
I love their AI assistant. I am sitting there and we talk constantly so I can figure out how the hell to book things in Appfolio.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new bookkeeping system I'm learning.
So my guy, Tony Robbins, says this.
I love Tony Robbins.
He says, technology isn't here to replace people. It's here to free you to do what you do best, building relationships and providing heart, purpose, and connection.
I love that.
That's so true.
I was listening to him on the way up here.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, my guy, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I need to read more
obsessed.
of his. It made me want to read more of his books.
Have you been to any of his events?
No, but I really.
You need.
We've
I'll
done
go
them
with
all.
you. We'll go to.
Dude, I would love to.
Go to start with
UPW.
the Unleash Power Within.
Okay.
Yeah, in person.
In person, it is
Yeah.
incredible. Like we were supposed to go to Date with Destiny this December.
Yeah.
But things got busy.
Yeah.
We're going next December.
Date with Destiny is an amazing one. It's like
yeah.
a relationship focused one, like 7 days intensive.
Wow.
All relationships, and then it's like one day that they really focus on like your. Some people get divorced from it. Some
Wow.
people, we definitely broke down barriers and walls that came up with like
That's
having
amazing.
children, and like totally reconnected us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had like a firefighter who was like, hey, like, you know, like having a rough time in my marriage, this and that. And he's like, yeah, well, I just spent 10 grand to go to this. And the guy was like, what? I'm not doing that. And he's like, it's your marriage.
Yeah, right? How much is your marriage worth?
Yeah.
Like, this is what changed our marriage, was going
really
to Date
did.
with
Yeah.
Destiny. And we actually did it online because it was COVID time. So
But still.
we did and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where has AI actually helped you save time on being more effective versus just the hype?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the marketing stuff.
Okay.
Like I mentioned earlier, for me, marketing is what differentiates the way that I do business and the processes that I built. So like I have things dialed in where I can effectively take on as many listings as I possibly can because nothing slips through the cracks. So there's AI infused in every bit and process of these steps. And my team is educated on AI too. So they get to use that as well because things constantly move. There's 1,000 things to do from initial lead to actually closing a deal. There's 1,000 things, right? And you need to make sure that you're timely on every one. That times 100 listings, like it becomes a lot of things that can go wrong. So the way that we use it a lot is making sure that the certain things that AI is really good at that can plug into that process is being utilized. And then I'm always testing new different ways and new tools to then increase the throughput of what I can actually get done. Tweaking it here, still having that human element here, but it's just like I have fun figuring out how I can be the best version and the best broker in the industry. Like that's what drives me.
I love that.
And these are the tools that are, I mean, it's a no-brainer that you're going to have to use these if you're going to want to be the best.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
He's like the next John Walsh.
Yeah.
Oh, you know John Walsh.
So John Walsh was the senior broker to the broker I worked for.
No way.
Ryan Cassidy.
That's so
So
crazy.
Ryan Cassidy used to drive him, was his driver. That's how he started out. Like he was
John
brand
Walsh.
new. He had a triangle of success, like, and had a list of everything he wanted. Like, he was a machine in how he like lived his life.
He was the first broker at Marcus & Mills chap to ever make $1 million.
Yep. And do you know that his wife didn't know? And they went on this trip, this Hawaii trip, and one of the wives said, "How proud are you of John that he's the first one to make $1 million?" And she said, "What?" Because he would tell her, "Hey, I can't. Do you want the lights on?" And so when she found that out, that was when he bought a lot, not behind the gates in North Ranch, but he bought a lot right outside the gates in North Ranch. And finally, she was like, got to design her house and like all the things.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because she didn't even know. His wife didn't even know how successful he was.
We went to premarital counseling, and our premarital counselor was
the wife of like the manager of Marcus & Milchop.
Oh, wow.
So like her and John, they had dinners, like good friends for a long time.
I never knew him, but it's funny how people impact different people in the industry, and then it moves down to different generations.
Yeah.
My CEO in my previous company, and then the head of multifamily at the time, now the president of that company, were at Marcus and John's office. And so they told us, when I started in the industry, John Walsh stories. So that tells you how impactful this man was.
Oh, yeah.
And just the fact of how he did the business. Like his work ethic and what he's been able to done is probably through thousands of brokers.
And he was so intimidating. So I had lunch with him.
Yeah.
So I was told to get into commercial real estate. And then John Walsh was like, I don't know how it ended up that I had lunch with him. And he looks at me and he goes, "Why wouldn't you just sell residential?" And I was like, he's like, they can make as much money as we do. And which is true. I mean, residential agents make a couple $1 million, the big ones,
For
you
sure.
know? And I was like 23 and
gosh.
shaking in my boots and was just like, I don't know, because Ryan told me. Yep. And it all came from being a waitress in Calabasas at a seafood steakhouse. That was how I met all these guys, and that was how I got into commercial real estate.
That's amazing.
Because they were like, "You need to be in real estate," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
So last question on AI before we jump into the No Vacancy podcast, which I'm also excited about. So how do you think brokers or operators like Marissa who ignore AI will be positioned over the next few years?
Few years, I think you'll be okay, but past 5, zero chance. Zero chance. Not that you won't be successful. You'll have your portfolio, and you'll be able to get deals done from people who are been in the business for 30 years who don't use AI.
Yeah.
But it's again, it's like the internet, right? It's like if you had to call people on a landline and Mojo wasn't existing. It's like you're just playing playing a different game, right? And there'll be operators, and I firmly believe this. There will be owners, individual owners, who run $1 billion portfolios with like 3 people.
Yeah. I could see that.
You won't need to have these massive
huge staff
things because it's going to do so much of our job is like communicating information. Like it's just information communication. The vendor, okay, you got to go fix this. Okay, here's an image of this. You got to, make sure the tenant knows this. Sign this document, DocuSign. Like all of this is information transfer. The strategic the part that is hard to do, I think, is more of the creative, seeing an opportunity where others don't. But even then, like if you have an infinite brain and you're PhD level at everything from construction to costs, like why wouldn't you be better at identifying a good deal?
Yeah. And I think too, especially like when you see these syndication companies and I see these like big staff that they have, and like, they're probably like all these little analysts and stuff. And I'm like, why do you need all that? Like you don't really, when you have good, like Appfolio has a ton of AI in it. We use them for our investment manager. That whole system, joining that, saved me from having to hire another person because of the capabilities within it to inform our investors.
Totally.
Oh my gosh, it's huge. They can pull up on their phone at dinner and say, "This is how I'm doing with Marissa and Danny."
Yeah, that's awesome.
And show anybody and say, "These are the returns I'm getting."
Yeah.
Like
game changer.
Oh, totally. So I see it. Don't worry.
Do they sponsor the podcast yet? They should.
Oh my gosh.
Appfolio, right?
They should.
They should. I mean, we had like 15 views on our last one.
It's huge. Getting big.
Hey, it's long tail, right?
Long tail.
Those are 15 people who are committed to listening to you guys, and those could be 15 investors. You 15. If you guys got 15 new investors, you'd be stoked.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like, that's the way that I think about it.
Yeah.
I don't need to be the next Logan Paul or the next Mr. Beast. Like I have a mission, and we can dive into it with the podcast of why I do it. But like, we're not in the business of trying to be famous.
See, I said that to her too. I go, I'm trying, like.
Did you see how much bigger Pocket sold for?
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Don't act like you say no.
For me.
You're like, no, I don't want the money. No. I'm good.
For me, of course I would take the money.
Yeah.
For me, it's brand.
Yeah.
Okay. And then number 2 is to get investors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's just such a great way. Like I had a lady who was referred to us, and I just texted her over. I said, here's our podcast. You can get to know us on this. And then I texted her over the YouTube link to our last deal so she can understand the deal. And then I said, let me know when you want to jump on a call and we can go over everything. And I'm like, that's really what the podcast is about for us, is really like, it's a way for people to get to know you
100%
without you having to spend all of these lunches with a bunch of people, which is very difficult to do if you want to scale.
100%.
Yeah.
So, and it also provides the video content I need for my social media for my husband and Peyton.
Well, you have to do it.
So now we get to talk about No Vacancy podcast. You do a great job. By the way.
You do. I listen to it
you
too.
Do.
Oh yeah. And
Wow.
the gentleman you had on, the last name, or is it Marcel? The
Jerry Marcel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I learned so much from him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
my
love
gosh.
that. I'm glad. Good.
I was literally like, oh my gosh, the way he thinks about things.
Yeah.
I was like, I love this. And like I would never be able to have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, not never.
I rarely have to get to have conversations with them. Like that was so cool about me in these conversations is I get to re-listen to them and the way that they think, and other people can too, where it's like, this guy's busy. Like he's got a lot of stuff going on. You know? When do you get a chance to actually try to digest that person's thoughts and how they think for an hour? And it's there. So you can go back to it and like
his
pick up new
philosophy on
things.
everything.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in a lot of ways you have these people who have been around forever and have not been captured.
Yeah.
Right? Because that generation has not, like, and we don't want it to be like NASA, where all of a sudden we can't figure out how to go to the moon because you had all these wonderful people who knew how to do it die, and nobody, you know, took part. So that with him, I was like, I wonder if his family even really realizes like his actual like mindset towards all of this.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned so much in that literally hour. I was like, this is phenomenal.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what led you to start the No Vacancy podcast?
So many things, but the initial one was just I love the medium. Like my preferred education listening is podcasts. Like that was just when I'm driving, I'm listening to podcasts. I was listening to Tony Robbins' podcast on the way up here because he's coming out with his live event. So like that was the way. I'm obsessed with learning. Like that is a trait that I think I was born with or that was instilled in me. I love learning new things. And that was something that I connected with. I love audiobooks. So like naturally I listen and I learn auditorily. And one of the other things that I kind of got pushed into it because I was toying with the idea. I was talking to a couple investors. Mark, actually, from Sunday was the first guest. And I had told him that I wanted to do it. And he was like, yeah, I'll be your first guest. Like, no problem. Like, I got you. And it kind of died. And, you know, I was working on the business and I just wasn't really thinking about it. And he called me one day or texted me and he's like, let's do the podcast. I was like, okay, you got a place to record it? And he goes, yeah, actually, a guy in my YPO group just built a podcast studio in his office. Like, we can do it there. I said, all right, great. So we show up, we do the podcast, and it went awesome. Like I loved it. It was super fun, super enjoyable. Everything about it, I loved. And I said, okay, well, I wonder who else I can get to come on here. Like, let me just reach out to some clients and see if they'd be willing to come on. So I reached out to these people and they said yes. And I was like, holy shit, like I can get these people in a podcast for an hour and ask them questions. Like, hell yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And so it kind of like snowballed from there. And then I got fortunate too because I had some guests who were well connected with other guests that I wanted to get on the show.
Okay.
And like they referred after I'd recorded with them and it was like, oh, you got to go on Taylor's show. Like it's incredible. I think you'd be really good. He does a good job. Like he'll make you look nice, you know, yada, yada. And so that was really how I got some of those guests that maybe are a little bit harder to get.
Yeah.
Also, and like this is something that I think reflecting back on why it has been successful and I've been able to get those people on is because I spent 7 years calling and building relationships with all the people.
Got it.
Like they know me as the broker.
Yeah.
They know me
Yes.
as a good person, or like I've given them value.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yes.
if I didn't have the 7 years of relationships with
Right.
those people,
Okay.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
just a guy reaching out, Cole, hey,
Yeah.
come on my podcast, is like, I don't know you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And most of these guys, and you were talking about how you get a chance to hear from people who maybe would never have a voice to share that. There's so many people that I want to have on the show that just aren't the type to come on, and I beg and I plead. I'm like, I'm telling you, I promise you, like this will be awesome. Think of your grandkids. Think of
Yes.
your grandkids
Oh,
and how much
nice.
they'll love
Yes,
this stuff.
I agree.
And I'm working on a couple of them, but I'm like, if people knew the actual people who run and the real estate and who own in this market, their stories and how they do it,
Yes.
they would be shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Shocked.
Well, and I think it would be good because I feel like landlords are so vilified.
I know.
And it's like, if you understand the hustle and the
Yes.
grind and like where their heart really was,
Yeah.
and yes, I understand we have to make decisions that are hard,
Yeah.
but like also sometimes like those are for the benefit of the overall. Like, I think that would be really
Yeah.
great for people to hear.
I agree.
Yeah.
And not just think, oh, it's this rich person up here that doesn't have a heart and a soul and doesn't care about anything. And it's like, no, actually,
Yeah.
like when that gentleman was talking about like how he donates a ton of money,
Yeah.
you know, he has a $1 billion company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's great, you know? So,
Here's a great example that we were just talking about last night. So there's this NBA show. We can't remember the name, but it went
Donald Sterling.
no, it went through the lives of like
Jo-
5 or 6.
it was Kevin Durant. It was just recently.
Oh, yeah,
Kevin
yeah, yeah.
Durant.
Starting five or
Harden.
something
Yeah,
like that.
starting
Yes,
5. So
starting five.
so James Harden, like I always couldn't stand him.
Uh-huh.
I mean, maybe because he's
Just
good and he just kind of
judging
is.
him.
Yeah, I was just judging. But
Judgy
after
person.
seeing him on the podcast or on the show, I'm like, that guy is such a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like she's saying, you know, landlords are vilified for sure. We are 100%. But if
Yeah.
you get to know us, like we're good people.
I know.
We take care of our tenants. We do all these good things. Yeah, in the beginning, we have to do evictions, which to get the building that we take from these slumlords up to
Yeah.
par.
Yeah.
But we're actually good people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's and that's what I think is frustrating for me when I see these city council meetings that I go
Yes.
to and some of
Yeah.
these votes. And actually, what's funny is just to give you an example, like there was a vote maybe a couple months ago, and one of the city council members owns an apartment building, one of them, and they recused themselves of this vote because it was affecting apartments. There's like 5 or 6 renters. They didn't
Yeah.
recuse themselves.
Yeah.
Like what does that make any sense, right? And so
None.
for me, it's very frustrating when I get to talk to these people. I understand what they're going through. I understand how tough it is when expenses jump up,
Mm-hmm.
when interest rates change. Like they're losing their life savings, some of these people. And there's these city council members who say they're evil. Like I don't really
I just
get
think
it.
that
Yeah.
it's not that black and white, and I think that that's unfortunate that people who are not in real estate day to day, they just don't understand the dynamics,
Yeah.
and it's not just so. Yes, they're horrible, and the poor renters. It's like it's there's
Spectrum.
so much more going on there,
100%.
and that's really where the conversations need to be, and to just not listen to the landlords at all because of your assumptions. It's like, no, like these are the people you need to, we all need to work together,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I always
100%.
say to them. Like people get mad, you know, about when we're doing the voluntary move outs to remodel the units. And it's like, I say to them, like, if your seller, your previous owner who did give you this low rent all these years,
Yeah.
okay, he did give you that. If he would have sold for a lower price, I could have
Yeah.
kept you, but he sold at the potential.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I know I'm the one that you're mad at, but really, I didn't walk away with all the money.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to make this work.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have a bunch of investors that I need to make sure they don't lose their money.
Yeah.
And they are mom and pop,
Yeah.
like small investors. Ours are,
Totally.
right? We don't have billionaires as
Yeah,
our
yeah, yeah.
investors.
Yeah.
We'll
Like-
see. Not yet.
Not
No,
yet.
well,
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
that's my next mission.
I know
So
he says that, and then I'm like, when I hear like you have no control, I'm like, why would I do that?
that's true. Yeah, that's
No,
I'm
awesome.
like, what
yeah.
we're doing
So-
works.
I'm curious. I mean, you kind of hit on it already, but you've really had some strong guests
Yeah.
like early on. I mean, how do you get them to come on, and is it just the relationship that you built?
It's 100% the relationships. Yeah. It's one, I put a lot of care, and I was telling you guys before we started how I've been having trouble with the edits because I haven't been happy with how they're coming out. And all of that is because I want the guests and I want the show. I want it to feel like it's something special, like it's unique. I'm not just like throwing it out there because I can and I want to get views and all this stuff. Like I want it to be something that is unique and has Taylor's spin on it and just feels different than other things. And again, like I'm allergic to the sameness. It's something that is just a quirk about me. And so I think people see that. They see the care that I put into the preparation, the edits, like everything.
Well, no, I mean, that shows why it's successful. And that's why we're piggybacking off. I told my partner who helps with the edits, I'm like, I want my, what are those nail clip or
thumbnails?
The thumbnails.
Yeah, thumbnails. I'm like, see, I sent a picture of your stuff. I'm like, I want it to look like that.
Yeah.
You do a good job.
Thank you.
I had a partner in residential who, like, her marketing was absolutely breathtaking. Like, it was perfect, right? And I'm always like, progress, not perfection. You know, like, let's keep moving forward. But it's like,
you need both though, because I can get analysis by paralysis as well.
Yes. But I think that it's like such a talent to have that eye where like I don't necessarily have that. You know, like I have to rely on other people who are more artistic. So that's also part of being like kind of like a more artistic person is knowing how you want things to look. Like me with a spreadsheet and numbers all day long. All day long. That's my jam, you know, but like going to make like a marketing flyer, I'm like Canva pre-built. Like I just want to change the pictures and some of the verbiage.
Totally.
I don't want to create it from nothing.
I can't do that. I literally, it makes me itchy. I'm like, no.
Yeah. And I'm like, sit there and I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Here's the thing though. This is me in general. Like there's very few things that I'm actually really good at, but it's going to sound arrogant, but like, you know how Rick Rubin is?
No.
He's like a famous producer. A lot of people would know who Rick Rubin is, but he like doesn't know how to produce in terms of moving the things and making the sound this way. He just can articulate to the artist of how the sound should be. And they're able to then manipulate that to get the sound output that he can envision. Like he knows when something's good, right?
Oh, gotcha.
And so I feel like I have that, and when it comes from the creativity, I have a hard time articulating exactly what needs to happen or how we're going to tweak this or that, but I know when it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Like I know, I have a very good sense of like that intuition.
Yeah.
That's why your editor loves you.
Exactly.
So what are some common themes that are coming up in conversations with owners and operators?
Yeah, it's I've thought a lot about this because I've gone back and listened to a lot of the episodes, and sometimes it's hard when you're in it interviewing someone to take the lessons from that because you're thinking about wanting to make sure it goes smoothly. But creativity, like some of the best operators and owners that I've interviewed and listened to, they just think a little bit differently. They're able to solve problems and think from a different angle. They use the side door as an analogy instead of the front and back door. And I think the best people that I've seen, they figure out a way to make something happen, whether that's through a relationship, whether that's through a different business model, whether that's through, like, if you guys listen to the Fred Leeds episode, he was able to structure certain financing on a first deal, and he like did sub 2 in like 1975 or something like that, right? So they just think differently. The one example he gave actually was Michael Milken, which I was like, God, it's such a brilliant thought process. Michael Milken is this famous investor. He was known for junk bonds back in the, 70s, 80s, something like that. And he basically, Fred was telling a conversation that he had where he had bought some real estate in Germany.
Oh, wow.
And Fred was like, why did you buy the building in Germany? Like, what do you like about the market? And he goes, well, it's not necessarily the property that I like, but I like the German mark. I think the trading value on the German mark is at a discount. And so I think I like that trade better because I get to do that in the mark, which then converts to the dollar. So he was thinking in two different planes of investing, not just one, where an average investor would be like, well, is the cap rate good? Is the price per square foot? How does the comp compare? He was thinking about the commodities trading. Like that is the level of uniqueness that I think makes the really excellent operators compared to the ones who are good. And you can make a lot of money and just be good, but to be the best and to be the top tier, you either have to have a lot of luck, have a really rich parent, or think differently.
Yeah, for sure.
You get paid for the value that you bring to society.
Yep.
and
Straight
that's
up.
100%. I mean, if you're an operator at a parking lot attendant, simple job, you don't have to think, you're going to get paid accordingly.
Yeah.
But if you're solving problems, bringing value, you're going to get paid for the value you bring to people.
100%.
So then, has hosting the podcast changed how you think about the market and ordeals?
Yeah, the one being a broker and being in the market, probably as much as the podcast is like, do I want to invest in LA multifamily? Like, is that a market that I want to put my hard-earned cash into? I think is the biggest question that I think about. One, because my time is the highest value for my time at the moment is coming from the brokerage side of the business, which is, I think, a skill set that I have that is very unique. Whereas I'm not as experienced in investing or buying deals, but I would be dumb not to invest the money somewhere, right?
Yeah.
There's only so much you can invest back in the business before, how big do you grow before you take some off the side and start to grow some lifestyle money. So I think for me, it's, okay, where do I want to invest my money? Like, do I want to be a LP? Do I want to co-GP with deals that I dig up? Do I want to invest in private equity instead? Do I want to go S&P 500? So I think it's made me question and really look into different investment vehicles for me, because investing is not my primary job, right? It's not, but I know so much about it and I'm so enthralled in it. And it'd be silly for me not to own real estate. Yeah. Because of the tax incentives, right? Like, it's very silly.
Especially for a real estate professional.
100%.
Yeah.
So
do a little cost seg.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Depreciation. Exactly.
What are those?
Exactly. So I think for me, it's from hearing the stories and understanding how these people think, especially about the current state of LA. It's like, okay, where do I want to invest my money at?
Where do you want to invest your money
Ventura
at?
County.
I mean, honestly, Ventura has been hot. I know a ton of investors in LA that would love to buy in Ventura. I just don't think they know it as well. Yeah. Because there is something about specializing.
Yeah, and you brought a billionaire. Like, we don't need that competition.
Don't be telling
And
anybody.
he bought like a building we literally like wrote
Did he
on.
really?
I was like,
yeah, sorry about that.
I was like, we don't need that level of competition. We cannot compete with it. Yeah. I was like,
yeah, we put an offer on that. He beat us out.
And he beat you?
Yeah. We don't need
Maybe
that.
his $1 billion net worth.
Maybe
was
go down
more
to Orange County.
I know.
Like east.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible. Don't invest there at all.
No.
Yeah, Ventura's really bad.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, stay away. What's one insight from the podcast that really stuck with you?
I mean, definitely the creativity part. One insight that stuck with me. I'm trying to think about, like, if there's themes that I feel a lot of the times in terms of like insights. I think the Fred Leeds episode, there's so many little nuggets. I've listened to that one back more than anything else. One, because he's such a great storyteller, and I think I lack the storytelling gene. So I'm like trying to pick up of how he does that. So I like to listen back to that one. But like, there's not one. I think it's get creative. Like, you have to think differently if you want to separate yourself from everyone else. The whole red ocean, blue ocean kind of theory. Yeah. Like, if you want to be playing in a blue ocean, you have to be playing a different game. Yeah.
Well, that's just like some of the buildings we've bought. Like, there's no way you could just buy them traditionally, like, unless you were going to put 50% down and just like be a family office and just
for
whatever,
20
turn
years.
them over. Yeah. But it's like we were able to buy them at higher prices because we were putting ADUs. I mean, Thousand Oaks right here, they've not had anyone put ADUs on multifamily. We're their first ones. We were Santa Paula's first one. Wow. We are Oxnard's first one right now. So it's like we're buying these buildings and able to give a higher price because we're adding units, which adds huge value.
Totally.
But yeah, so it is. It's definitely, you have to like think out of the box and be sometimes the first mover in a market to do it.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, I mean, I could keep going. I had one more section. We kind of ran out of time, but I want to go over, we always do at the end of the episode, a final five. Yeah. So just quick questions, quick answers, or however you want to answer it. But what's one habit that's made the biggest difference in your career?
Time blocking.
Time blocking.
Yep. Making sure that if I say I'm going to do something, I put it in my calendar and it has a space. It's that meeting, those calls that I need to make, that's a meeting with myself. And if it's not on the calendar, then it's not happening. Yeah. So for me, time blocking is like, I'm a guy who wants to do everything all the time. Yeah. Like, I want to do it all, right? Yeah. And so I need to make artificial constraints for myself.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way that I can focus and get things done.
Yeah. No,
I need
that's
to do
great.
that for my bookkeeping.
Yeah. Put a little time in there.
You just put on like those horse things, and you're like just bookkeeping.
Yeah.
What's a mistake you see owners make over and over?
Not having a business plan that's flexible. Like they have an A plan.
Yeah.
And they don't have a B and C plan.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of have to have a B and C plan
100%.
if you're going to survive.
Yeah.
Like if this happens, if this happens, if this happens, which it could, right? Are you safe, or does your whole business model get messed up?
Yeah.
Like there has to be this sensitivity analysis, in my opinion, for different things, because it just takes one wrong thing and investment goes bad.
Yeah.
So I think having more than one plan.
No, that's great. Best piece of advice you've ever received?
Volume negates luck.
Volume negates luck. I like that. Yeah, we touched on that, and I couldn't agree more, especially for someone young and starting out in the business.
Yeah.
Just repetition builds skills for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
One thing you're bullish on over the next 12, 24 months.
ADUs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just the way that the industry is going, there's very few ways that you can force appreciation than ADUs. And you got to be careful, because there's certain pockets in certain markets where ADUs will increase cash flow, but not necessarily value because of the cost of construction. So you have to understand those kind of nuances with it. Like you're not going to build. People used to build ADUs in South LA. It doesn't really pencil when a building's trading at $100 a door. Like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's going to cost you $250,
right?
$300.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think there's understanding those nuances about it.
Yeah.
And getting really good at one thing. Like get world class at something. Because if you're world class, people will pay you for that skill.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. 100%. I'm thinking of a million things of people that are world class at something, and they do get paid accordingly.
Yep.
What's one book you'd recommend right now?
I mean, not even that I guess would recommend, but I'm personally excited because I've actually never read a Tony Robbins book, but after listening to that, I used to listen to the tapes. So my dad, when we were driving, he'd have like the release, Unleash the Power Within, like cassette tapes.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I used to listen to him, but I've never read the book. And so my goal is to read more Tony Robbins books, which impactfully through my dad or through me subconsciously listening to it, he's affected and changed my life. And I don't think from everyone he's worked with, like you could go wrong with reading a Tony Robbins book. Like you can't be worse.
I've read them all.
There's no way that you can be a worse person or human.
Yeah.
No.
You can only improve by reading that stuff.
Yep.
So I would recommend anyone who hasn't, because I'm going to be doing that, is reading the Tony Robbins books.
They're very good.
What's the one that changed my life that we read? The Tony Robbins
Money Master the Game.
No, the finance one.
It's the one before that. That's Money Master the Game is like the extended
Unshakable.
version of Unshakable.
Okay, so Unshakable.
That was the one I read and had him read, and I was like, read this book.
What's the first one you'd recommend someone reading?
I would
probably Unshakable.
Unshakable.
Really?
Because
to be honest,
he interviewed the top 50.
It's right after the recession, the Great Recession. He wrote it, and it is. Yeah, and it's a really good short starter for people to get you thirsty, and then Money Master the Game is it in depth.
Got it.
So that's like kind of the prequel.
Well,
that one.
So that one is he interviewed the top 50 financial self-made, and as he says, they're not from the Lucky Sperm Club.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so it's a finance book, but what changed my life was the last chapter, and it's about he's like, I wouldn't be writing, I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't add some Tony Robbins to this. And it's about being in a beautiful state.
Yeah.
I literally sat there. I was just getting into residential cold calling, and I went into the office and I didn't cold call. And I'm an audio guy too.
Yeah.
I wrote down every word in that chapter, and I have it on my notes.
Wow.
And I'll reread it.
Yeah.
Game changer.
It's
amazing.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, just having that as your mantra and trying to practice that every day is huge.
Yeah.
But it's basically we go through all this stuff, we do all these crazy things, but if you're living in a world of stress and anger and worried and anxiety, what's the point of all of it?
What's the purpose?
Yeah.
So you have to make a commitment to yourself to live in a beautiful state and to release those things as much as you can, No one's perfect.
I'm going to listen to it on the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Literally.
so good.
It's a good one.
It's really
It's
good.
great. And I mean, as I've grown and now with the, buildings and stabilizing, like I have to revisit that because I get in that stress, anxiety state, and I got to bring it back to the beautiful state.
Okay. Can we stop this for a second though? But does this crack you up? This man was an Air Force firefighter, went over, helped on the first Air Force base after the Iraqi war, right? Saudi Arabia. Then he joins and does for a living, runs into burning buildings. He gets stressed out. It blows my mind because I'm like, why are you stressed out about getting permits on an ADU? I'm like, how does this, it doesn't connect for me. Like, you could go in right now and this building's burning and you'll go on the roof and you'll open a hole in it and you'll do all these things. No, not doing that. Or you'll run in to save someone, or you'll climb, this crazy ladder and propel down and do all these things. But yet he mentally is gets stressed out over, are we getting the ADU permits on time?
Yeah.
Well,
you're going to get them.
It's more that firefighting is like a job. It's a W-2. You go in, you do the calls, and yes, they can be stressful. Yeah. But you got a paycheck. But now I have, $12 million of other people's money.
17 million, but
17. Okay. And, a lot of it relies on me to get those permits, to do the business plan, to lease the units. So
you're saving lives, though. Literally, as a firefighter, we are not saving lives.
Yeah, it's just time on ball. You'll get the more you're doing it.
He hasn't dealt with enough rejection to be emotionally detached.
The more, but after your 500th ADU permit, you're gonna understand what it is.
Yeah.
So it's getting the reps.
Yeah,
volume negates luck.
Volume negates luck. Yeah.
Yeah, but sorry, it just cracks me up when he goes into this. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's like cold calling for me. I don't get nervous cold calling at all.
In the beginning, right?
I will cold call. If you gave me Donald Trump's number, I'd cold call him right now. Yeah. I genuinely, I've done it over 100,000 times.
What about in the beginning? Was it nerve-wracking?
I was the worst cold caller you ever. I literally was like, I can never do it. I'm the worst.
Yeah.
I would read every sales book you can possibly imagine, literally, and I'd study it, and I'd still be shitty, and I'd be like, what the? I can't do this. I'm never gonna be good. And then it's just you're like, oh, that was pretty good. I said that pretty smoothly. Like, oh, wow. Yeah. Wait, they said they want to meet with me?
Yeah. Right? And then you're like, I got to stop cold calling because I got an appointment.
Yeah, I love it.
Exactly.
So how can people connect with you?
All the social medias, Taylor Avakian, if you look it up, I'm there. No Vacancy Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, everywhere. You can check that out. We'd love for you to come listen if you have interest. And then, I'm pretty much available because I'm a public. My job is to take calls. So you can find my information if you really want it. But just reach out. Happy to help. And I love talking about real estate.
Yeah.
So.
Well, awesome. I have to say, we went well over what we were intended for. But that's because you are just a great person overall. I mean, it was really fun. I knew that connection when we first met.
Yeah.
The energy, we're very similar in a lot of ways. Hard chargers, we've got goals that we're going to achieve, and you are absolutely crushing it. I love seeing your success.
Yeah. Thank you.
Podcast, broker. I can't wait to see, what the world ends what you end up, where you end up going, investing, whatever you're doing. So.
And if you get a listing in Ventura County, send it to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
To me.
Deal.
So
I'll text you.
I'll
make sure to text you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Danny, Marissa, thank you guys very much.
No, appreciate it.
That was awesome.
Thank you, everybody, for joining today's show. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next episode. Thank you.